Hey, good Thursday afternoon, everybody. It is May the 25th, 2023. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Tim Pandages. We are just 6 days out from the start of the 2023 hurricane season, which begins on June 1st, goes all the way to November 30th. I want to start things off on the east coast of Florida and the Carolinas and Georgia coastline here, because this is visible satellite imagery. And if you look at it carefully over the last several hours, we do have a broad spin developing here. Keep in mind, this area here too is right over the Gulf Stream, a river of very warm ocean waters that would typically provide fuel to developing tropical systems. So why am I showing you this? Well, the National Hurricane Center has actually tagged this area at a low chance of development. Remember, this year, their outlooks go all the way out to 7 days. That's a change from only out to 5 days last year. So within 7 days, after 48 hours between that and 7 days, it's got a 10% chance of developing. So very, very low. If it was to somehow get going and get the name Arlene, which is the first name on our list, it would join the last 7 of 8 hurricane seasons that have had preseason development. That's prior to June 1st. The only year in the last 8 that hasn't is last year. Every other year since, we've had couple storms. In fact, 2020 there were 2. In 2016 there were 2 storms that came before the official start of the season. Now, why there's low chances of this developing into a tropical system is because it'll likely maintain its fronts, its frontal features. Although a storm is likely, it's unlikely to become tropical. Regardless, it's going to cause big impacts along the coast of the Carolinas and up through Georgia and even potentially into Virginia. Big beach weekend, Memorial Day weekend. So rip current risk is elevated to high. That is the 3rd highest weather-related cause of death in the United States. Greater rain chances, obviously, too, and large swells and potentially even some coastal erosion there from the building of this storm as it moves inland. So here's a look at our computer models showing a development of a coastal low, at least, drifting inland right along the border of North and South Carolina, hitting all the major beach establishments there Saturday into Sunday. How much rain potentially? Several inches. Newest model guidance coming in here, 2 to 3 to maybe isolated areas of 4 inches between Saturday and Sunday, putting a big damper on those beach plans in the Carolinas. Speaking of the start of hurricane season, June 1st, today NOAA had a news conference releasing their outlook for the Atlantic Basin season, calling for a near normal activity overall. The average is 14 named storms. They're calling for 12 to 17 of those. Hurricanes 5 to 9, and of those 1 to 4 becoming a Category 3 major hurricane or greater. Now, a big player in this outlook, although it is not the entire player on this, is the sea surface temperatures in an area of the ocean, in the Pacific Ocean, off the coast of South America. This is called the Enzo phase. We're coming off of 3 consecutive seasons of our hurricane season of being facilitated by a La Nina setup. That's colder than normal waters off the Pacific coast of South America. We're transitioning, and in fact, in many cases, probably already in an El Nino state, which is a warmer than average setup in an area called the Nino 3.4 region. That's well off the coast of South America, and why that comes into play is because this tends to increase the wind shear that's over the Atlantic Basin, and wind shear is detrimental to tropical development, tends to tear them apart. Here are our names for the 2023 season. There are 21 of them. The first on the list would be Arlene. We'll see if we do get that off the coast of the Carolinas, although unlikely, there's still a 10% chance. I want to finish up today with a look out in the Pacific because Guam got hit by a Typhoon Mawar just 24 hours ago. It has since pulled away from Guam, the U.S. territory, and really intensified. It is now a super typhoon. Look at this. Sustained winds of 175 miles per hour. Extremely strong. Now, it's called a typhoon, and you may be wondering what's the difference between a typhoon and a hurricane. Really nothing. It's just all about the geography and which basin it develops in. We call storms hurricanes in the Atlantic, East, and Central Pacific. However, in the Western Pacific, where Mawar is, that is called a typhoon. All right, that's all she wrote on this hurricane update. I hope you have a great Memorial Day weekend and enjoy the long weekend. And of course, remember our fallen heroes, as Memorial Day is just for that. So keep that in mind. We'll see you again back here on YouTube for tropical updates as we hit the season next week.